Hello, good evening. How are you? Welcome, welcome. Buonasera. It's still a few minutes from the starting time, so I'm gonna open the chat on my other device. How are you today? Let's check. All right, we are all set, all completely set. So, welcome back to my garden for this other As Alive tour. Hello, Sissi. Today we will explore the villa of Poppaea, the second wife of the Emperor Nero, and is an incredible example of Roman archaeology. Hello, Susan. Ciao. So, it's still 3 minutes from our planned starting time. Hello, Adrian from Boston. I'm sorry, there are a lot of birds in the garden where I live. Sorry, I cannot stop them. So there's also this sunset hour that are quite happy around the trees. Let's see. Yeah, Tamela. Ciao, Tami. I was on Capri yesterday. I read some of your comments for my post, and then I remember that you said that one of most of your favorite places is Capri. I'm planning a tour there, not in the month of July or August because it's really hot and crowded. So maybe the early September will be a good option. So actually the quality of the video is very good, and then I'm happy because I found a good solution for the live As Alive tour from home. I have to set a few things like the bitrate and other technological things that I'm not really good, but I watched a lot of tutorial on YouTube, so now I'm quite an expert. Ciao, Eileen from the it's raining in Ireland. Oh no, here the weather, as you can see, it's amazing. Really is good. That's beautiful blue sky, huh? We have. It's summer. Started summer. She's very good. Hello, Catherine. Ciao. So, dear family, another minute and then we start our tour. I will switch to the video very soon. So we will explore the secrets of Villa di Poppaea, called Oplontis. I will do an introduction, basically where it's located, the villa first, and then we will go with the video. Actually, I think will be a good idea. No jealous, Aileen. So while we are waiting, I'm gonna check with the Google Maps, so I will show you also where is place. This way we can have a complete understanding of the whole region, the whole place. Here we are. Let's go back. Ciao Carl. Ciao. So let's give another extra minutes for friends joining, and then we will start our tour. If it's your first time on this channel, remember that you can click, you can be one of my followers, and then in a few days I will have another tour for the underground of Naples. That is a very interesting archaeological site. Share my channel with all of your friends, because more we are, better is. especially for some restrictions on YouTube. At the moment I'm nearly 900 followers. I'm waiting to reach the 1000 followers to have less limits for the streaming, especially for the phones streamings. Yeah, so that will be very important. And then I need to reach the standard of 4000 hours to be part of the YouTube partner membership. So I mean, we are working, we are building our progress. So my name is Raffaele, if it's your first time on the channel, and I'm an official tour guide, an archaeologist specialized in Roman archaeology and the late Roman time. I did some excavations very interesting in the central part of Italy, especially in Molise area, and something in the interior of the region Campania, like Nola Cimitira, which is a very important site. Maybe some of you has been with me there live few months ago. Then, ciao everyone, ciao a tutti. Then I am also the owner of a company, the Grand Tour Experience, and we provide tours all over Italy. So in case you need help for in-person tours, you can send me an email and we can plan everything you need, from a driver to a tour, everything. So it's time to start our tour. Today we are live at Oplontis. Well, live, I mean with my video live, and then I will comment with you together. First of all, where is placed Oplontis? Remember that you can do any questions that you want in the chat. I'm checking the chat with you live all the time, so no problem at all. Let's move the camera to the desktop. Here we are. So basically the Oplontis area, Oplontis, which is this very special archaeological site, it's placed not so far from Pompeii. It's about a couple of kilometers to this place, to the famous site of Pompeii. Just a moment, I'm trying to understand why it's not, here we are. Let's see why it's not sharing my it's very weird. I'm sorry friends, this is the beauty of the live. I'm trying to share the window with the Safari, but I think it's not working. Yeah, thank you Jessica. So if it's better that we can start to do with the video and then talking where is Oplontis very soon. Let's see. Are you able to see a video now? Or not yet? Or do you still see my desktop? I think it's quite weird because last time what is happening now? I was trying to I don't know if you can see the video, but I think it's frozen on the window, correct? I think it's frozen. Yeah, you cannot see the video. That's yeah. Now, yeah, you can see the desktop, you can see me now. Soon, let's go back to the desktop. Let's see if it's working now. Oh, that's the beauty of the live. So this is me. And then let's check the video. If now works the video, otherwise it seems frozen. I still have only the desktop on my hand. That's quite weird. So please don't move from where you are. I'm trying to figure it out how it can happen. That's really weird. Hello Charity, ciao. Video. Let's see if I'm trying to. I will make it, no problem. I'm uploading now. Let's see, just a moment. Okay, I think now you should be able to see the video soon. Flip to screen. Here we are. Good. Now we made it. We made it. So dear friends, I was just telling that actually Oplontis is an archaeological site which is placed not so far from Pompeii. If you see now that the video will be frozen because I'm putting in pause to speak better about this place. So actually about 10 minutes outside the archaeological site of Pompeii, we are able to see an incredible villa that was discovered first in the 1700s. Then the other excavations happened in the first half of the 19th century, but the best of the excavations happened right after the World War II in the 1960s. Oplontis, it's an archaeological site that is not a proper city, but is a villa. And wherever you see now in the screen, it's part of the volcanic eruption 79 AD. Here is about 28-30 feet of material that literally buried the whole place, buried the whole site. And then when the excavations during the Bourbonic time started, and they went to discover first Herculaneum, then Pompeii, then Stabia, also Oplontis was part of this interest. The archaeological site is one of the most well-preserved Roman villa ever built outside Rome, and one of the opinion that the owner of this villa was the famous Poppaea, the second wife of Nero. You can also see very special and elegant mosaics, because there were a team of artists working in the region Campania and the Bay of Napoli from the 1st century BC. That is the age of the villa, that has a lot of beautiful frescoes, the so-called Second Roman style, from the 80 before Christ. The crater, this beautiful base made of marble that you can see right in the middle of the screen now, it's something that the archaeological park wanted to show back some of the artifacts discovered in the excavations to create an example of archaeological site and museum. The villa of Oplontis was a villa built on top of a terrace facing the coast, and then there was also a huge garden to the other side, where now we are working actually, that was going right to the slopes of the Mount Vesuvius. So it was completely devastated by the same eruption of 79, the one that Pliny the Younger described very well. Here the quality of the colors are so vivid because most of the villa has been buried until the 1960s, like most of the terracotta decoration that is part of the roof. The roof has been restored, make sure, like most of the columns, but with the technique of the plaster cast, the archaeologists were able to recreate the garden as was in the past. How? Because every roots, every plants, every flowers that left a hole under the soil, with the technique of pouring liquid plaster, they were able to determine what kind of plants, what kind of flora this garden had. And that's why we can see this spectacular hortus that has pomegranates, olives, oleander flowers, and then one part of the garden was completely covered with a beautiful bay leaf. From the garden we're now we will be able to reach one of the most iconic and important part of the villa, the pool side. This was a villa that had everything to supply. It was connected with an aqueduct. There was a private access to the sea, directly to the sea. There were a lot of people working. The extensions of the villa, it's nearly 11,000 square meters, and today still a big part of this place it's covered by a modern road and a military building that is not possible to destroy to extend the excavations. So starting now from the two viridaria, these two beautiful examples of painted gardens on the wall with stunning pigments, where the archaeologists planted again the same type of plants that they are painted on the wall. The contrast with the yellow and the red is just amazing, really amazing. And what we have seen about the crater, the vase made of marble, we can see painted now on the wall with a few peacocks and birds flying around. That was the taste of most of the noble families living at the feet of the Vesuvius and the Bay of Naples to recreate the effect of interior gardens just with art. Also with these prospectical games of windows and paintings will make this villa even with a more extension. That is really cool. Again, every roof has been restored. That's why we can still see these beautiful frescoes on the spot, because they are very well preserved. The floor of this pool area, it's completely covered with the mosaics, little tester of mosaics, and the pool, believe me, it's over 60 meters long for 20 meters wide. It's like an Olympionic, like an Olympic pool. Those are part of the steps. And then who could swim in this beautiful place? Well, during the excavations, archaeologists found some amphoras with an inscription, the name of a freed slave that was part of the Nero and Poppaea family. That's why they realized that this was the famous villa of Poppaea, the second wife of the emperor Nero. Yes, that part will never be excavated, but what we have is enough. You can see the spectacular and elegant decorations called the third Roman style, because the villa, yes, was built around the 80 BC, and most of the rooms are with this stunning second style. One of the best examples of the second Roman style is at the Met of New York, with some walls coming from Bosco Reale, which is another archaeological site found outside Pompeii. But then the villa had some change in terms of art at the time of Augustus, but was not inhabited, was without people at the time of eruption, because was under restoration for the earthquake of 62. Most of the artifacts, the silver cups and the precious material were all found in one room together. The sculpture that you can actually see are sculpture made of marble from Greece. Most of the artists working in the Bay of Napoli, they were formed in the Greek islands, or they were working in this part of the world where the Greek culture is one of the most important background. That is the beautiful Diana or Artemide. Artemis, the head, it's missing. That can tell us also how could happen, how could Romans make sculpture, where some part of the sculpture were made with different times, or they could add after. During the excavations, happened that some of the things has been literally destroyed or removed, and like happened also in Rome, was easier to move just the head than the whole sculpture. Those are all original sculptures, nothing is a replica. This place, it's all original apart the roofs. So, I mean, the statue that you can see, even this young Ephebo, young boy, young athlete that we can see right there with his mantello, the shroud, covering part of the left shoulder. In this big open room with a shrine right in the middle. Those are all original and this marble is a marble coming from the central part of Italy. Most of those sculptures were exposed here in the archaeological site of Oplontis in the last few months. So if you were in Oplontis in one of your journey, one of your travel last year, for example, you could never see them because they just this new way a few months ago. That's a young boy, a young child, a very little child with a goose. The goose was used as a water pipe because there was a hole with the lead pipes could create like a water games. It's also interesting to see the elegance of the paintings with the garland of flowers and the details of the little insect or animals painted. Most of them are showing elements from Egypt. That was one of the main fashion from the third Roman style, that it's called also Egyptian style or Orientalizzante. That's a grasshopper. So the quality of the detail, it's blowing our mind. That's a few doves. That's a jumping stab, and that is the peacock's tail. So artists were traveling a lot, so they knew actually how the animals were. That's a crocodile. It's a very weird crocodile. And then from here, that was the only person doing a visit of Oplontis. It's a site not very well known. I don't know if how many of you heard about this place before. Those are some of the artifacts that we actually discovered, like the big clay lamps, that they were oil lamps. Some of them are very big to make light for big rooms, some other just smaller that you could move around the different rooms of this place. Some benches where people could just relax after a bath into that big pool, or try to take a shade from the heat of the summer here in the Bay of Naples. Some other example of clay jars, pieces of sculptures made of clay, weight for tailoring to make clothes. But what does it mean, Oplontis, the word? Well, in a medieval map of the Roman world, there was just outside Pompeii the symbol of a font, of a fountain, and that's why archaeologists believe that that was the coming of the meaning of Oplontis from ab fontis. Another theory is that because in this area there were a lot of Oscans community living, and Oscans had as a main goddess a goddess called Ops, which means opulence, like in English. From ops, then opulence, opulencia, richness. That's why the toponimo, the name, it's from this theory. I'm closer to this theory, honestly. So Oplontis by opulence, and then we will see part of a similar sculpture like that very soon. That is part of the head of a piece of marble. That's a little cupid fighting with a rooster, some elegant feet with the sandals, and then that's supposed to be a goddess of fertility with the cornucopia, similar to the Ops of the Oscan time. That's interesting to understand where the words are coming from, especially the name of the cities. As you can see, the walls of this corridor are completely painted with this very weird design with the white and black, because this was a service corridor. People have to move fast in and out, to move facilities, to move furniture, to move food, drinks for the guests that they were enjoying the whole pool actually. And we found other example of this kind of decoration in some other suburban villa, because the villa of Oplontis is defined suburban of Pompeii, or well, the outside of the walls of the famous city of Pompeii. That again, for some of the guests they are joining right now, is not more than 10 minutes by car from the famous archaeological sites. Those are beautiful swan made with this ochre color, and the contrast with white, where we have the scene of a peacock's standing on a crater that it seems made of silver. The crater was the famous Greek, then adopted in Roman time, vase that was used to mix wine and water. I think that really this place is a gem for people who loves archaeology. Have you ever heard about Oplontis before? Just a question so we can check into the chat. I was telling that there is a big project to study the frescoes, but unfortunately not so much space to dig. Even if in the last week the archaeological site announced a new little portion of excavations that we're waiting for decades, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of artifacts, what kind of beauty will appear from the ash from the 79 AD. That is the big peristyle, which is this porticos that we can get around this open courtyard, and then some of these special kind of decorations with flying exotic animals like panther, leopard, then we have it looks like phoenix, seashells leading from the wall, flying stabs, and a lot of architecture, because this kind of style that we can see, it's mainly not anymore the second or the third as we have seen before, but it was going literally till the end of 79 AD. We have found a lot of this style all over the walls in Pompeii and in Herculaneum. The columns were made of local bricks, plastered with a white plaster with the grooves, and then the bottom flat, typical of the 1st century, because this villa has been used during the Claudia age, the Emperor Claudius age. It's very exciting, it's true, Polly, because it's a new way to discover the Roman art, because we are always stopping to Herculaneum or Pompeii, but there are so many other interesting places that really deserve a visit. The best it's coming now, because what we are going to explore is what I think is interesting for the art, for the quality of the frescoes. We need to also imagine that all of the windows that we can see now into the screen, they were open to the sea. Now we have a modern wall, and there's a big shame, but most of those windows were open to the bay at the sunset in front of Capri Island, where the Emperor Tiberius had the government of Rome for about 11 years. And then there were several rooms, some salon like this, then dining room, but this villa had also a thermal bath that we will see at the very end of this adventure. Yes, Patrick, that is true. That's true. We have also these little elegant cupids flying in the middle of this white panel with a green frame, and even the columns made with this feather design, dolphins, because we are in a place built on the sea, so the reminder to the nature, to the sea, is always pretty strong. The chiaroscuro, the contrast of this feather, will make the columns with this special effect. They had also window frame that they are completely gone, destroyed and burnt, and then glass to protect the temperature but to let the light coming through the different rooms. The use of the red is predominant. Red was one of the most expensive pigment. Some of the reds were obtained with the cinnabar, but it's also interesting to see the mosaics on the floor with these black dots of basalt mixed with the marble or travertine. In this little alcove we can see the bust with a white marble of Aphrodite, or Venus as you want to call. I know the reflection is not one of the best, but it's interesting to see that archaeologists can understand the age of the Basilica is spectacular, the age of a sculpture, thanks to the hairstyle. Thanks to the hairstyle, we can tell you if was under Claudius, was under Nero, was under Augustus. Sometimes for some sculpture like Augustus in Rome, by the shape of the curly hair on the front, we can share few years of gap. Those are two arms of Hercules. They were part of a complete body. The pedestal was a cylinder of marble most of the time, with the head of the hero on top. And then the first of my favorite room, it's coming right now, with one of the best example of the second Roman style fresco, the family. I want to make a stop to the video so you can understand with your eyes how phenomenal it's this archaeological site. The perspectical games that we can see through the walls, this very Eastern architecture. The Roman Empire had a lot of connections with the Middle East. We know that the silk arrived from China already with the Julius Caesar. But all of this use of gold, it's almost complete. The second Roman style is also called the architectural style, because we can see painted almost as human sides, real sides paintings, the structure like columns, doors, basket, as we can see into the screen right now. This basket is a still life with some fruits and an amazing shroud, very transparent, very translucent on top. It looks like silk. While on top we can see a basket made of glass with apples, the typical apple that Romans used to make like a marmalade. It's a very dry apple, then pomegranate. And the use of the shade, if we imagine we must wait really over 1400 years to get back this kind of quality in terms of art. That's a mask, symbol of good luck and protection, called apotropaic. I think you never seen frescoes like this before, or maybe just in some example in Pompeii, like the Casa dei Vetti. And that what you can see now, it's a cake. Romans said they were special chef. They loved to prepare food. They made a lot of different kind of spiced wine, but they also loved cakes, something sweet. That cake, which is called today cassato oplontina, it's made with a sweet ricotta cheese, with a glaze of honey, and then fruits. Romans really knew how to enjoy life, and this salon, as you can see, was open to the corridor and then to the coast. The ceiling again is completely new, but when the professor did the restoration for the ceiling, they wanted to show us, that's a beautiful block of alabaster, how was the insulation technique. So the ceiling in the Roman time was made with a few canes and then covered with the plaster. We are back into another peristylium. In the middle of the peristylium, here, the peristyle, there was also a big fountain, and every part of this wall was painted with a stunning example of plants. It's thanks to this kind of remains that archaeologists could determine and also thanks to the plaster cast technique what kind of flora Romans had, and it's called archaeobotanic, also studying the seeds left in some sites. That it's pretty dark, but it was a tunnel that went directly to the coast. Directly there. There was an upper floor, and even here it's showing us how could work the insulation for the ceiling in the Roman time. Usually every home, it can be a villa, it can be a house, doesn't matter, had one corner dedicated to their domestic religion. In this big villa of 11,000 square meters, we have a whole room for house gods, for the shrine, for the lares. Those are the original tiles, because when we do some restoration, we can replace the original tiles above some modern roofs. Yes, Polly, you are completely right. Yes, that's totally true. It's a really big place, and a lot of students from all over the world, like from Texas universities, they are coming every summer, every season, for this important study of the frescoes. That's the University of Texas with the professor John R. Clark, in partnership with some local universities. And then you can see also the amphoras, this vase, this big vase that they were used to carry inside olive oil, wine, grain, or garum, the famous fish sauce. So now we are inside the proper entrance of this villa, that unfortunately is still buried, because the atrium with impluvium and compluvium you will see right now, it's excavated, but the proper door of this place, not yet. I don't think they will excavate that part, but it's pretty hard. This is the entrance of the villa. That is a modern wall, but the frescoes here are all original. All original, and it's called also megalographia, which is a big, gigantic painting. The impluvium, it's all decorated with this meander style mosaic. It's a huge impluvium with a big chamber underneath for the collection of rainwater. Both sides of the atrium are covered with this second style fresco. And then that was a servant's passage, where we still have some plaster cast of windows, shelter of windows. And now be ready for what we can see, because for me I think it's the best part of the whole tour. From the floor, with all of this little flower design, the multicolors, you can see the dining room, the triclinium of this villa, with a losanga style, mosaics and meander right in the middle, and be ready for the best frescoes of the Roman world. Here you are. Here are literally complete. I mean, almost the 80% of the room, it's complete with original colors, no one painted over. It's predominant the use of these golden columns covered with gems, rubies, looks like diamonds, flower design, that big gate right in the middle, these little birds that can give us the example, no, to understand how tall is a column. It's unbelievable. The best artist worked here, and everything was painted in between the 80 BC and Augustus, more or less. That is a figure behind this round Corinthian style Tholos building. That big chest basket with the figs. The Pompeii area with Herculaneum, they were famous to produce figs, and that's why we can see a lot of still life with the figs painted. Imagine digging, but especially in Roman time, eating in a room like this with such beauty around. It was really an important family. So if we are not sure if it was Poppea or not, but we call Poppea, definitely was a person that had a great taste and an important connections. But now you can still see part of the eruption, since we have the plaster cast of the windows of this other big salon open to the bay. That is part of the eruption that's still covering the villa. And then be ready for another important piece of art. When we talk about Oplontis and then you type on Google Oplontis, then 90% of the time it will appear this fresco with that peacocks, with that yellow mask, with a representation there of the temple of Apollo in Delphi, another big connection that the Bay of Napoli had with Greece. Actually, we have here a breaking wall with a perspectical games, which is something unique. Even the detail that was used for procession is a tool, is an object that is not really clear use of it, but that it's another little bird, always the connection with nature, to give us also an example to understand how tall was something like this. That is the tripode, the 3 feet fireplace, famous for the temple of Apollo in Delphi. The cult of Apollo it was famous especially for another archaeological site called Cuma in the Phlegraean Fields. We told about Cuma in some other virtual tours. And then through these windows you can see another landscape outside, so something painted into the paintings. Doric style columns, Ionic there, and Corinthians. And this super thing to put the tail of the peacocks above this yellow architrave will create a more 3D effect. The mask, which is a symbol of apotropaic, again good luck, was also a clear reminder to the theater. It will be public, this tour, no problem at all, so anyone can see it. I also love this shade, the light that it literally cut. Those are elements of decoration. They used to decorate the walls with skulls of animals, could be ox, could be a stabs. And now we are inside the thermal quarter, that is part of the kitchen. Usually the kitchen had a sharing wall with the calidarium. The calidarium was the hot steam room. This was a little fountain in the middle of the thermal district with the 4 columns around. And here the system of the floor worked basically like in Pompeii or Herculaneum, with the hypocors, with the double floor. That is the calidarium with the 3rd Roman style fresco showing Hercules in the garden of the Hesperidi. That is the moment where Hercules completed his last labor. He had to pick up some golden apples from the tree, and then he was accepted up to the Mount Olympus as an hero. Wow, we are discovering a lot of things, and that it's the elements of the hypocaust, so you can understand much more how could work the heating floor. Tepidarium, calidarium, frigidarium. Then they had some other areas where they could relax more, like sudarium, nymphaeum, but basically the 3 main rooms were frigidarium, tepidarium, and calidarium. No problem, Rose, I will upload this video very soon, at the end of it. So dear family, I think it's time to come back to me. I'm here with you. Hello. How was Oplontis then? Did we understand something new today? I hope so. Actually, when it's evening, it's chilly outside the garden. That's why I'm wearing a jacket, even if we are nearly in July. I hope that you really could enjoy the whole presentation and everything. I hope that you will follow my channel. You can share it with your friends, the video, because I need hours watching video and followers. That is really, really important. And if you want to leave a coffee, or you want to donate anything to my job, you can find into the descriptions below the link that you can use. That will be even if I cannot check live, you are all in my heart. That is very, very important. Mind blowing, Susan, it's true, it's very beautiful. Don't worry, because I will upload this video to the channel, I think will be automatically be uploaded at the end of this streaming. And on Friday, I guess Friday the 3rd of June, if I'm not wrong, we will be live from the, always like in this way, from the underground of Napoli, and there we will understand this special kind of layers that the city of Naples has, from the Greek to the Roman to the Middle Age, so all in one place. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm reading in the chat some comments. We were not so many connected, but we are building our success, so step by step. Thank you again. I wish you a lovely day wherever you are in the world. Stay safe, take care, and again, remember to follow the channel, share the channel with your friends, and if you want to leave something, you are most welcome. Follow the link down here. Thank you very much, and see you in a few days. Ciao.